to deliver talk on issues related to mining and environment. As you know, he has a tremendous experience on this. So we are very happy to have him for the 9th Krishnanunni Memorial Virtual Lecture. I'm sure that you all will enjoy his talk, and I request Dr. Parsarthi to introduce the speaker.
Dr. Kulkarni, I happen to know him since 2011. I think we went to Madagascar for a project.
Yeah. Yes,
so there I met him first. He did his MSc Geology in 1986 from Pune, and then I think it drifted to Environment Management in 94 with a PhD. He has done a considerable work in environment-related issues, particularly related to mining. He was also a quality control auditor for the ISO certification for a number of places. And he had a rich experience of over 30 years in mining and environment-related issues. I happened to listen to one of his talks on sustainable mining of bauxite in a lecture arranged by CRT, Sudha and her husband, and there and then I found him as a good speaker, so I thought we should have benefit of his lecture today. So without further wasting time, I request Dr. Kulkarni to start his lecture, please.
Yeah. So thank you very much, sir, for kind words. I hope I'm audible, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, Honorable Director Shailesh Naik, sir, Director, National Institute of Advanced Studies. Honorable A R Parsarthi, sir, Secretary, KMCT. Honorable members, warm good afternoon to everyone. It's my great pleasure and privilege to me for getting invitation to deliver lecture on 9th day lecture on Krishnanunni Lecture, Memorial Lecture. It's a great honor to me to talk something, to share some of my knowledge with all the learned members. In fact, with due respect to a renowned international geologist and a scholarly person, and with the permission of the chair, I would like to share some of my opinion, particularly on mining environment. I think with such a great stalwart, I don't think lecture would be appropriate word. I can say that I can share some of my knowledge with the learned people. So thank you, sir, for giving me an invitation once again. I'll start my sharing my PPT. See, as I mentioned in my abstract, see, India is endowed with the large number of ore minerals in large quantities. Almost more than 95 minerals are being explored and mined out today. And India has been is a mining sector has been one of the driving sector, particularly for economic growth of India. And with the huge resources and geoclimatic conditions, so mining sector has become one of the strong sector for economic growth of India. And with the strong dedicated input from the Geological Survey of India and the selfless service of the nation, I think India has become self-sufficient in large number of mineral resources that are being mined today. Their surplus are sufficient also, and all credit goes to Geological Survey of India for their tireless work also in this area. But in recent time, due to some or the other reason, mining sector is a lot of criticism from different segments because of illegal mining work and adverse environmental impact. That's why it is a lot of getting criticism. There is time when we're talking only about the production and development. Now the more focus is toward the environment now, because environmental issues, a lot of environmental problems are faced by the mining sector in recent times also. But as we know that, so mining sector is strong, it cannot be stopped, but it should be supported. But in the need of the time that whether instead of considering these two aspects separately, mining and environment, how these two can be infused together, how these two can go hand in hand, right from the inception stage till the end, So that would really exactly need to be discussed, and needs, I think, already been doing all this work and to be implemented, planning we're doing, implemented, so that the whole objective of getting the sustainable mining can be achieved also. I think with this little bit background, I would like to share my PPT. Sir, is it my PPT visible, visible, sir? Hello?
Yes, it is. We can maybe see slideshow mode, then it will be bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank
Is
you.
it okay, sir, now? Hello?
Yes, it's fine.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
fine. It is fine.
It is fine
Okay.
now.
Yeah. Okay. So in fact, I was said that the audience are from the not only from geology and but also different field. First, I thought that I'll give us some conceptual background, and the entire my topic. In fact, what I thought of sharing will divide into some small, like I'll give a conceptual background of environment to give some basic information of the environment, and not talk about the environment and development and environment of development of mining industry, people perception toward the mining, and environmental impact assessment, and last, system development framework for mining. So these are some of the broad, I can say, outline. I can talk about this one. So just to give the basic concept, what exactly environment? Do I give the background? See, environment, what is surrounds, we call it as a environment. So we classify natural environment, the cultural environment. So natural element, again, we got, as you know, the 5 component: water, land, air, flora, and fauna. And culture, we got the population environment, social environment, economic, and aesthetic environment. So the different component environment, which are inextricably interlinked and interdependent on one another. Small change in one parameter or one component affect the existence of other parameters. But this effect, if it is within the limit, there will not be any change. But if it exceeds certain limit, then will get impact on the entire system get affected. Just to start about, let us say that the population is one of the main factor which affect the whole environment. So if you take the population of India, I think to global population contribute 17.76% we're contributing. And our population density 481 per square kilometer is the population density of India. Against where almost 3 is the population density of Australia, we are 481 per square kilometer. So remaining the resource same, there's a lot of pressure because of population now. And population was 17%, but if you say the water resources, only 4%. Land is only 2.4%. And air resource, we know the quality of it, what we're talking about. Now, if you take the floral resource, huge floral resource we got, but only the recorded floral resources, we can say about 45 species was recorded, which contribute about 7% of the global species. And faunal resources are almost 1.2 billion we got, which contributes about a 7 to 8% contribute. You can see the floral density, the floral richness and faunal richness is very high. See, because of the lot of pressure on the population, because population density, lot of resources being affected, adversely affected by the human being because of this population pressure also. Now, when one side we have seen the population of India, and also shown the biological diversity, the strength of diversity, and different how component related to one another. Let us see in last so many years how the development has taken place. See, after the Green Revolution, I think we're talking about the GDP of India. Talking about the GDP comes from 3 sectors: agriculture, industry, and service sectors. In 1950, the GDP of India was over 1 lakh crore, out of which agriculture sector contributed 50.4%, industry sector 15.4%, and service sector 29.3%. You can see over the time now how this sectoral change has taken place. Now 2021, now the GDP of India crossed 1,17,000, 15 lakh crore the GDP of India. Now where the agriculture contribution is 20.19%, Industrial sector is 25.92%, service sector 53%. See, what we would like to highlight is that earlier the agriculture sector contributed 55.4%. Now it has reduced to 20.19%. But there is a within the sector itself, the tremendous growth is there. But if you compare the sector with the agricultural sector in industrial sector, the agricultural sector growth is comparatively less. And industrial growth has become tremendous, 15% gone to 25.9%. Now we say that the agricultural development, agricultural growth is taking place for thousands of years, but it not affected the environment. But industrial growth, which has 15%, 5%, 25.9%, it has given tremendous boost to the economy of India. Industrial growth has been tremendous. It has given a lot of industrial growth, has given the economic security has given on one side. But now if you see because of this, industry no doubt has given a lot of economic support growth for the India. But at the same time, it has given a lot of environmental damages taken place with industries. Even for example, if you take the carbon dioxide, 200 years before, it was only 250 ppm. Now it has gone more than 400 ppm in just less than 200 years' time. It means that the accumulation of carbon dioxide with industries or with the population has been tremendous. It has given a lot of environmental damage, pollution, that we can result in adverse impact on health, property, forest, agriculture, climate, etc. And the population and pollution has taken place at different levels. It can local level has taken adversely affected, regional level, national level, and global. These are different levels industry are adversely affected. These are some of the pictures shown that over the global environmental impact because of the strong growth of industries and this adverse impact on the environment, like global warming, acid rain, ozone depletion, desertification, deforestation, depletion of natural resources, population, and other these things. These are the adverse environmental impact which have resulted because of this one. Now let us come to in India situation where let us see the land use. The total land of India is 328 million hectares. Maybe with some disputed area, actually the effective usage of the 305 million hectares, out of which we can say agriculture area over 42%. And let us come to the mining part of it. Mining area is just only 0.31 million hectares out of 328 million hectares, which in terms of percent only 0.9%. You can imagine that how small is the area which has been mineralized area, mining area in comparison to the total geographical land of India. Area is very limited, and that is one part of it. Now, in spite of that, I think India is bestowed or blessed with large number of mineral resources and almost 95 minerals, including 4 fuel minerals, 10 metallic minerals, 47 non-metallic minerals, 3 atomic minerals, and 30 minor minerals. Right? So they are being now mined even today in spite of the small area. Right? And the GDP of due to mining sector is very strong, 2.2%, 2.5% in the total GDP of India. But within the industrial sector, the contribution from the mining sector is 10 to 11%. And mining industry as such have brought large number of direct employment to more than 300 people. People as given the direct employment is given, and a lot of benefit is given in not only economic but also a lot of social direct indirect benefit is given to the society. And just if you see the number of the reported mines with IBM, particularly last major minerals, and to 1920, 1385, and 2021, you can say now 1319. You can see the 1381 has gone to 1375 and now 1319, excluding atomic minerals, fuel minerals, minor minerals, right, which are registered with the IBM now. You can see here the number of mines, operating major mines, are reduced from 1385 to 1319. The reasons are many. Very few mines are there which are depleted, which are closed only because of the resources are depleted. Many of the mines are closed, major mines, bigger ones closed, because some are the other social or environmental issues that are closed, which is affecting the growth of mining industry also. And if you see the distribution, area-wide distribution of the mining leases in India. Just from understanding point of view, I will divide this into three categories. That area mining leases up to 50 hectares and 0 to 50 hectares, I'll put one category, and 50 to 100 hectares, I'll put one more medium scale category, and more than 200 put it as a large scale mines, I'll put it also. This is the number of leases if you take it from 0 to 50 hectares, right? It's almost 75% are in the area range of 0 to 50 hectares. And medium scale mines, you can say that it is about only 14% area leases and medium scale, and only 11% of the leases are having area more than 200 hectares to 500 hectares. And these are number of leads, frequent distribution, lead distribution, you can take it. But on the other hand, you can see that in terms of area, 75% area, small mines, cluster of small mines, isolated small mines, the area wise only 9%. And medium scale mines, which 14% what we're talking about, area wise 15% are occupied, and large scale mines, which are in terms of number only 11%, in terms of area they are 77%. See, what I would like to highlight is that these small scale mines, though the number area is less, the frequency is more, but managing such mines is very difficult because environmental impacts are very difficult to control. Though they are small mines, they're isolated cluster of mines, so it's very difficult right there. But on the other hand, if you take the larger mines, their impact is more, much more, as compared to other this one. But provided if you have a proper environmental management plan in place, it can be executed, but adverse environmental impact of the larger mine can also be controlled, though the areas are very big. So this is what exactly I want to highlight from this particular this one. Now again, in addition to that, the large number of areas are given for prospecting from the state government and from the central government. Then the prospecting stage are there, and they are at elementary stage, the prospecting, detailed prospecting stage they are there, and large number of mines. So auction now almost 220 mines. Again, when these are already in future planning are there, but that's why now these are to come into operations in a time-bound manner, provided if you have infused environmental parameters in these right from the initial stage itself. So in future, this adverse effect can be minimized also. Now, when you're talking about the adverse effect of mining, see, mining has given a lot of benefits, but at the same time, the adverse effects are plenty. What we see, it's been observed a lot of people. We are working with a large number of sugar industries, textile industry also working, but the impact of sugar industry, textile industries are not much visible as much as mining industry. And then one example I'll give, we got one textile distillery for us. There's one parameter called as chemical oxygen demand, which should be less than 150 mg per liter. But the surety value of these water different discharge is more than 1,25,000. And but here a lot of not much panic is not been observed, is not there here because they are not seen visibly. We surprised now that they not only polluted surface water, even they polluted groundwater up to a depth of more than 100 meters also, which cannot be recorded. But this impact is not much visible. But mining impacts are very visible now. That's why every people can talk about this impact in public with so much of record. Now, the causes of particularly all of you know that land conversion. So conversion of fertile land for mining purpose for converting, that one of the main reason. Land clearance, now felling of trees is one of the very visible causes of impact. And these adverse impact, what we have seen that, see, loss of natural soil cover, which is a very useful soil cover. But now one of the major impact, what is that due to mining is the erosion of soil. And erosion of soil, there are very few mines are there where the quality of water in terms of chemical parameters or biological parameters less, but only the main problem is that siltation, the total silt because of mining has been one of the major issues because of mining. One of the big adverse effect, change the hydrology and the drainage pattern. So again, the dumping of the mining waste, right, and change the topographical conditions. Again, if the dumps are not properly protected, usually matter of the dump is also one of the main causative factor for the siltation also. Changes in the hydrology, breaking of the groundwater aquifers, recharge pattern. This is also affecting the pumping of water in the pit is also affecting the water table in the regional in the local areas. And deforestation, particularly deforestation, loss of green cover. See, I think I said that we've got a very rich biological diversity. And because lack of baseline data we're collecting, I think we are also respond greater extent that the extinction of some of the species which are already in the endangered stage, the loss of local species, again, one of the factor. And desertification, increased degradation of land due to unable to the support life also. Cutting and filling, dispose of overburden, and in some areas, again, the climate change is also affecting this one, and also changing the social structure and the traffic in the areas also that is affected, and make the land unavailable for productive uses and affect the entire ecosystem. And in some cases, particularly environmental pollution are some of the major issues, really, air pollution, dust and the noise because of the vibration, because of blasting, other things are also responsible, adverse effect of mining also. Now, talking about the impact of this one, this impact characterization, I think we can classify this, it may be impact characterized as adverse impact and a beneficial impact. Not all the mining impacts are adverse. There are a lot of beneficial effects out there. And these impacts can also be a temporary impact, short-term impact, or permanent impact, or long-term impact also. The impact also reversible and irreversible. Like I said, the loss of biodiversity, it is irreversible. A localized, large-scale and a wide-scale impacts are there. And there are primary impacts are there, secondary impact and tertiary impacts are there. So primary impact, you can say, felling of the trees. When the mining is done, elevation difference of the topography is a primary impact. And secondary impact, the induced because of the primary impacts, like dewatering from the pit, the lowering of the water in the and the nearby area in the buffer zone, it can be a secondary impact. So tertiary impact is a long-term impact which may lead to the climate change. So this way we can characterize the impacts. And impact also again depends on the scale of the project. And particularly large greenfield projects have more adverse impact in comparison with the brownfield expansion projects. So that is again one of the important factor. And project locations. See, now there are some areas where the is identified exclusively for mining or exclusively for the industry. In particular industry called special economic zones are there. If an industry set up in those special economic zones, that your adverse impact will be minimum. But if your areas are located outside the special economic zones, and particularly in case of mining, they're outside the economic zones. If the area is like free from any sort of wildlife boundaries, their impact is different. But if an area is close to the wildlife area, sanctuaries and national parks, impacts are more. Again, it depends upon the location of the project, even the project rejected. And again, every project, every mining site-specific impacts are there, and the project-specific impacts are there. So impact depends on all these different factors. I think these are some of the pictures which I'm showing here, how the primary impacts are taking place here. I think you can see the left-hand side, the primary impact, we can see the elevation difference here, different benches, we can show that, and dumping the primary impact. And the right-hand side, you can see the initial topography, you can see. And after mining, you can see how the topography changing with the mining operations also, and dumping on the slope, devegetation of the storm. So these are some of the pictures I have shown to just to impact. Now, see, considering all these things, there's a people perception to the mining is become very negative now. And that's why it's facing a lot of criticism because of mining. And to agree to this one, minerals, forests, and tribal tracts are concentrated in the same geographical area. And because of that, that will become much more difficult for a project proponent for the whatever package he has prepared, the rehabilitation resettlement package you prepare the project affect people, people are not happy for relocate themselves because of this because sentiment to the particular area, and the package what given they are not happy with that one, and then again we put a lot of opposition from the people as a part of this. And because that, and moreover, mining should be, many of people think that why mining should not be banned to arrest the further loss of cultural biological diversity and destruction ecology also. That's the people perception, because they see the impact visibly, and that's why everyone can give their opinion that why mining should not be banned, because so much visible impact is in them. And that is why should mining be privileged over the other projects, and that is again the people perception. And this situation has greatly contributed to the general social dissatisfaction and unrest in the mining belt. And to cause of this one, we know that these are the remote places where you got a very rich biological diversity. And when you're preparing the plans, we're not taking into account the existing biological diversity. But we are working only based on the second data. And some of the, in this process, we're not preparing a comprehensive data has been not prepared. And if at all any endangered species are there, we're not making a proper assessment. And if you have made a proper assessment, you can have a long-term mitigation measures can be included by the project proponent, so that the biological diversity can be lost. This is not been done, and that's why people are opposing, a lot of people opposing the mining activities. And again, as I said that the number of the small mines are more as compared to larger mines. And these mines, they don't have technical people to understand environmental impacts. And that is why indifferent mining is taking place, because of without understanding. But in spite of understanding, they don't have technical knowledge and a lot of finance to mitigate the adverse impact also. And furthermore, in the process of mechanization, earlier there was more focus on manual mining. Now, in recent years, the mechanization of mining is there. And to go for mechanization mining, the local employment is restricted. And local people are taken at a lower level, not the top level. That again a greater distraction, because now total mechanization is restrict the use of local people also. This is one, again, people not happy. And moreover, whosoever people who are employed in the mining, they are outside people, technical people qualified from outside, but local people not much benefit. That's why local were not happy, because they're not getting a direct, much of the people are not getting a direct benefit also. And moreover, when the mining operation starts, I think every mine owner is doing a lot of work as a part of his corporate social responsibility. He's also greatly contributing to district mineral foundation. At least minimum 30% of the royalty has been paid toward the DMF funds, and that whatever money is collected under DMF, this benefit, the objective is to benefit the people, locally affect people. This benefit is not reaching immediately or delayed to the local people. That's why people are not happy with this mining operations. But in spite of that one, I think mining has to be taking place now. They have to comply a lot of legal compliance to do it. To begin, I think earlier, a lot of mining operations were there without environmental clearance. And then time was given, environmental clearance was given. And for that, we prepare an environmental impact assessment report prepared by the technical person, approved by the MOF, and then only you can start the mining operations. These are legal requirement. Again, all the mining plan to be approved by the Indian Bureau of Mines, progressive mine closure plan, final closure plan to be approved by the Indian Bureau of Mines or by the state government, depending upon the major mineral or the minor mineral. But once after these two documents are approved, then we execute the lease, and then you get a consent to operate to be obtained from the State Pollution Control Board. And once the consent to operate obtained under Section 2526 of the Water Act 1984 and Section 21 Air Act 19 under Air Act, it is consent taken. Every company is required to submit annual audit for every financial year is mandatory under Rule 15 of Environmental Protection Act. So the legal requirement also. And also, once this is done, at the compliance report as per the condition imposed by the MOF when your annual clearance is given. Those compliance report to be submitted to the MOF on at least twice a year is a mandatory also. And what is exactly the, just to get a considered environmental impact assessment. See, when we know that when you do the mining, we know there are adverse impact of mining are there. There is no mathematical formula which can calculate that how much exactly air is going to be affected, how much water is going to be affected. So there is no formula as such. And for that, we have to make a broad-based assessment to be made. That's why it is very mean assessment based on certain baseline data, based on certain assumptions, we made assessment. So environmental assessment is a tool to assess environmental, social, economic impact of a proposed project and measures to mitigate damage as such possible. So then we know that what the project is going to be. We know what are the probable impact of this project on the environment, and those impacts can be minimized. It cannot be eliminated to a great extent, but this impact can be minimized, can be mitigated, might reduce, provided if we have a well-developed environmental plan can develop. This is the main purpose of this environmental impact assessment, right? So it's a tool to help build a balance between environment and development. This is the very important, right? And remember that environmental impact assessment is basically a multidisciplinary approach. Earlier, only few people used to do it now, right? It is a very few, or more than 15, almost 15, 20 experts are defined from different disciplines. And that's why this approach, called them the multidisciplinary approach. We should have people from geology, we have from air pollution, meteorology, we can have a pollution expert, ecology biological expert, socio-economic experts, environmental expert, hydrological experts, should be the geology, conservation, risk assessment management, soil management, energy management, and traffic management. So these are called as functional areas also. So one person called as is called as the EIA coordinator. He is a nodal person under the EIA coordinator. So these are the functional areas that have to work under his guidance and prepare a very comprehensive report, consider all the parameters. In that only it become a true report can be prepared. If you're provided to do this one, though we are preparing the report based on the TOR given by the MOF, but we should have the input on different expert while preparing a very good report to be prepared. Now, once you prepare the good EI report and approved, a lot of benefits are there. Impacts can be identified, mitigation measure can be put in place beforehand. Local committees can be helpful if taken confident, discussed with the project them. As a part of this process, we conduct the public hearing before going to the above for approval. That is, the people come to know that what are the project, what impacts are there, benefits are there, losses are there beforehand, rather than creating an issue afterwards also. Good environmental management can prevent from non-compliances. In return, will provide a monetary benefit on a long-term basis. This is the advantage what they're getting to make good EIA also. See, when we are preparing the EIA, environmental impact assessment, see, most of the consultant, what I have seen, though just is a matter of cut and paste from one project report to other project report. As I said that maybe the same iron ore project I've done earlier, but now I'm doing the entrance iron ore project from other areas, but my impact studies will be different again, though the project is the same. So as many of the people made the poor report because we have to understand activities of each and every activities of mining activities. I given some flow chart I given here, but all of you know that different mining activities. Here the broader one, as a consultant, once you understand different activities of the mining, it can be totally mechanized activity, can manual activities. So each activity I would identify it in detail, make the checklist of activities also. Then how each activity has got its impact, has assured the environmental parameter. So that we call as aspect, we call environmental aspect. Activity, each activity have different aspect and habit. And each aspect have different impact on environment. So this is we call them as activity chart, aspect chart, and impact chart of entire activities prepared by the competent person, a consultant, and then only a very good report can be prepared. Simply, instead of cut and paste, this approach would be always better to develop a very good environmental impact assessment report can be prepared, provided a consultant should understand. But as in many cases, the environmental impact assessment reports are prepared by consultant, and where the project proponent just take it granted and sign it, and it become difficult for him at the time of implementation. That's you should have a very good consultant, very important to understand the subject very well. Suppose if you prepare the not a good report, and poor AI report results in a lot of adverse impact also. It decline in company reputation in domestic international market is the one impact of poor AI if you prepare it, and loss of time leads to increase in the project cost also. And normally when we submit a report, now the time-bound projects are there. Environmental impact assessment to be approved within 75 days to maximum 105 days. It should be approved, provided if you do everything as per this one. But there are some cases where the project takes months together, years together for getting the preparing the report. The loss of time is the one, and next loss of locus trust, stakeholders trust is lost, and this leads to the personal integrity of the consultant as the experts of appraisal committees. This leads to a lot of financial burden on the project proponent. And because of this poor report, poor payment indicator, I think much of the cases become legal issues. We approach the tribunal, green tribunal, for further details. So, and a lot of cases in court pending because of poor development of years. And some of the reasons for getting the poor EI, environmental impact report, that these really poor report because the public hearing is one of the important parameter here. And in public hearing, some public hearing, lot of people come with a good intention and support the project or oppose the project based on certain parameters. But here, much of the environmentalists, so-called the environmental activists, the main objective is to oppose the project, irrespective of what benefit the project is giving. So that's one part of it. In other parts, a lot of the public minutes of media manipulated also. This is one of the reasons for poor EIA. And I said the project AI reports are consult-driven project, and a lot of many cases wrong information is submitted. There are some cases are there where the wildlife boundary in one case was beyond 10 kilometers, but same was cut and paste other project where wildlife boundary was 3.5 to 4 kilometers away from the lease. The EC was approved, mining operation started. After 3-4 years, when brought notice, the mining operation suspended. So submission of wrong information or incomplete information may lead to cancellation of approved EC also. And one more parameter, that insufficient primary data and secondary data. See, many of the consultant people, they only depend on the secondary data. And primary data particularly, they fail with respect to the whether the quality of water, air, or the biodiversity area. This is not being prepared. Even the data what they prepare, the quality of water also. I think simply they are cutting and pasting. Not everyone, I'm talking about very few people. But when the technical people sitting in the MOEF with from Pollution Control Board, other things, the moment they see the report, will come to that this is the false report, or this is the report not up to the mark. Though it is mentioned that the report are to be prepared by the NML accredited laboratories, but even then, a lot of deficiencies are there in the prepared report. There are many cases, the environmental data after the commencement mining operations, the base data values are much more less than the baseline data. It means that the baseline data itself was wrong. So that will create a lot of problem in the future also. And time of collection of data. See, though there are specific time is given for collection of data, but in some cases we collect data for one particular season. In one particular season, I may not get the full data. In that case, whatever is available that I submit it, and in the future, this is become a problem in future to come. And one of the, again, biggest problem, what we faced, I'll put the environmental impact assessment for that, the land use classification is not available throughout India. And even the land use classification, revenue record shows it is a private land, and foreign department shows it is their land. So that is a dispute. The mining plan lease approved, mining plan prepared, EC obtained, but when come to the last stage, foreign department said that no, this land belongs to us. So that becomes again the project graded. There are some cases, even like 30 years after getting the mining plan approved, the still the courts are pending in this one because of the status of the land is a matter of dispute also. In some cases, and particularly in northeastern part, there no land use pattern available, and there are a lot of people have started mining in northeastern part. There are a lot of money spent, mining plan approved. When they go to environmental clearance, upon the people that this belongs to government land, this belongs to forest land. That's why some cases very clear, but in some cases land use classification not clear, and that's why it becomes bigger disputed issues in the future. I'll give some example. This is one picture I'm showing. This is basically a plateau of bauxite, and normally the bauxite, particularly high altitude bauxite, occur about 1,000 meter elevation. They are, when you see that it is classified as a stony wasteland. You can see not a single grass is here now. And when you do this studies, you write it that the plant biodiversity on the plateau is a barren stony wasteland.
ನನಗೆ ಬಾಳೆ ನಾಳೆ ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕು. ನಾಳೆ ತಂದು ಕೊಡ್ತೀಯಾ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ? ಇಲ್ಲ ಈಗ ನಿನ್ಗೆ ಬೆಟರ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಮಳೆ ಗಿಳೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ನಿನ್ನ ಇಷ್ಟ.
The same thing. If you see, I'll show this picture. This is not the same. This is a mining block.
ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಮ್ಮ, ನಾಳೆ ತರಬೇಕು.
See, this is the one bauxite, high altitude bauxite area. I'm showing the picture of the peak summer season. And during this is the again same plateau.
Apple ಒಂದಿದೆ.
You can see this
apple ಬೇಕಮ್ಮ
in the month of August.
ಊರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲ.
Right, you can see these are called the flowering plants, called the angiosperm plant. You can see the biodiversity here. The earlier picture, if I collect the data in summer month, I can clearly classify the barren stony wasteland. But the same data is collected here in the month of after the rainy season, and you can see the diversity here. And this is one of declared the World Heritage Site. See, this is the diversity. You can see that the time of collection data, it makes a lot of difference. And this flowering plant, the life of this plant only 3 months. After 3 months, it became again totally, this plateau became like this after 3 months. So if you neglect this part, probably you will be missing some of the, losing some of the plant diversity, miss it. But yes, this can be protected, provided if you take into account in the beginning and accordingly prepare the plan, so that even every species which though can be mined, it can be regenerated, it can be rehabilitated. Same species can be done. In the particular safety zone can be exclusively meant for this one. This is the safety zone of 7.5 meter. The diversity can be maintained in that area. Now, because of this now one is the other one side of it. Other side, nowadays the mining has become more of a legal issue than the technical issues. Lot of legal issues also there, because everyone goes by the rules, regulations are there. And recently I can give some examples which have come across difficult here now. I'll give one example. For example, take is a working mine. Mining lease is valid. The working mine is a major mine. The mining is valid, but EC is revoked by MOF because some other information, wrong info provided. EC is revoked. After 15 years, EC is revoked by the MOF. Now, because EC is revoked now, resources almost exhausted in this mine, but no FMCP can be prepared and implement. No FMCP can be prepared and implemented, as the state government can declare this a lapse lease because no mining operator taken last 2 years. This is a very typical case. Lease is valid, but now MO is revoked. Mining line is revoked. Now I could not do reinstate in 2 years' time. In the meantime, state government declared as a lapse area. But now, in spite of valid lease, I cannot do the final merger plan cannot be prepared, though it is mandatory, one of the conditions imposed by the MOF while granting the lease. But because state government lapsed the lease, I cannot do this, even the valid lease is also. Second again that EC is revoked by the MOF, but could not reinstate by the leasing. But in the meantime, the mining lease is over. So EC is revoked, but we could not reinstate. But in the meantime, mining lease period is over now. Hence, the final millennium closure plan cannot be prepared. Again, the legal difficulties there. Even we're approaching IBM or some people, no one has answered for this one also. Valid lease, but still nothing can be done. There are some cases, not only cases in India there, where these problems are being faced. And particularly the eco-sensitive zones, wildlife sanctuaries, corridor, etc., with respect to the distance criteria, again, and issues because a lot of people are in the court. And particularly the one is the code zone, buffer zone, and again the corridor, the distance of the corridor. Again, corridor itself has a buffer zone. So now this again, a lot of people, legal issues are there. Even working mines are closed because of these legal issues. Now, in spite of that, I think the approach that yes, mining should be done. We should go, provided we should have approach of sustainable. Now, IBM come out with the concept of sustainable development framework for the mining is to be implemented. Now, what are talking about sustainable development is that the pattern where the objective of sustainable development that use the resources in such a way that whatever resource left behind are sufficient for the next generations to come. So that's the objective of overall substantive development what you are talking about now. Now, when we're talking about sustainable development for mining, is basically based upon three pillars like economic parameters, environmental parameters, social parameters. So these three parameters are to be integrated, and instead of having a conflict with these three, we should have the proper balancing these two with the objective of having sustainable development. Now, when we're planning a sustainable development, now I said that now in the initial stage itself, the objective is to that incorporating environmental and social sensitive issues in the decision-making process. I think a lot of areas are given for the auction, and also a lot of area taken for the prospecting. And particularly the prospecting itself, is it possible to have a joint survey from different department to identify that whether this area in future can be brought under mining use? But one side, the area is given for the auction, everything, but later on then we get difficulty. And before that bidding stage, if you know that the risk of this one, whether high risk, low risk, I think it is easy for the people. If areas, you can identify the areas, very sensitive areas can be declared no-go areas in the beginning itself, so that we will not enter and spend a lot of time or money and come out with nothing out of this one. So this is what exactly to identify the issues in the beginning itself before the allotment release. Now, one another parameter, strategic assessment is in the mining areas. Who know that mining, we are still not doing strategic assessment. We are simply carrying out the environmental impact assessment. But in case of cluster of mines, particularly, right now, strategic assessment is the need of the time. So that sort of work has not been done. I think we should give more focus in case of when the cluster of mines are there. We should go for strategic assessment, can be prepared to all the mines, and you can prepare the regional mineral can be prepared, taking into account the carrying capacity of the area. This is very important. Suppose if the area is already overlaid, for example, we know that already Delhi air quality index is going more than, it should even less than 100. We know already going more 500, 600 up to air quality index going. It means that already the over is carrying capacity system over. But in such cases, same concept can be applied in other environmental parameters also. So it is called, we call excessive factor. If certain parameter excessive factor already exceeding, such areas can be declared no-go areas. And that's why, unless you study the carrying capacity system, I think we should not plan any industries, mining activity in such areas. And particularly when you prepare the environment plan prepared, we prepare very beautiful environment prepared paper just for sake of approval, but the implementation part is very important. The implement paper part should not be only on the paper. As a project proponent owner, implement should be self-driven by himself, that it should be taken not just to meet the statutory requirement, but it should be taken voluntary basis with the object voluntarily, and with the self-responsibility, and so that you should take it as a self-responsibility and do it with the intention of implementing in a true sense. So that should be the one of the important parameter considered. And again, under land resettlement and other social impacts can be identified and incorporated, and particularly these parameters are also being done in this one. And as a part of the corporate social we're doing, but the good active already been doing also. So this should be again taken into account in the beginning of the stage itself. Community engagement. Yes. See, now local people, when we put the baseline data also, we try to get the socio-economic background, the source income, and quantum income, everything is studied that. Again, to make them, mining maybe for few years, but we can develop a capacity building of the local people through the different initiatives as a part of corporate social responsibility. Though after the mining activity also, they can do the self-supporting can be done the people also. And mine closure and post-mining activities. This is again very important parameters. I think, as I said earlier, when talking about sustainable development, mine closure is an integral part of it, because some other legal aspect I think we are discontinuing, and that's why leaving the mining as it is without completing it also, which again contradicting, violating the basic concept of the sustainable development also. And ethical functioning responsible business also. Yes, the principle underlying need the ethical business should be followed by every companies, not just to meet the legal requirement. So then only it is possible to meet the sustainable development of mining also. And particularly whatever we are doing it, preparing it, and it's a need that sustainable development report to be prepared. Sustainable reporting is a must now, and not only prepare it, but also display it on the public domain for the benefit of the people also. These are some of the important parameters which are to be included. Just for one, I'm showing some pictures which are bigger mines, particularly how they manage particularly the runoff water. They're beautiful examples. A lot of people have done exemplary work, which followed by the mines for the environmental protection. This is the one case where the plateau mining, bauxite mining, where you can see the very high rainfall more than 5,000 millimeter. So entire water from this is collected to a garland drains, and these garland drains from different sources are converted into a settling tank. So these are the silt check dam is constructed, and it is designed in such a way that at least in every area, we maintain 15 to 30 minutes residence time, so the silt get deposited in the first pit, and then water spills into the second one. So we check the water quality at this spot. We check the water second pond. We also check the water quality the third one. If required, if total suspension more than 100 milligram per liter, here alum is added as a flocculant. Then clear water is clear to increase, and then it passes a check dam here. This is again a check dam. Again, after check dam, the other check dam. Here the soak pit here, which is the filters. And again, the gravel bed is there, boulders, gravels, and then the last one. And from there, again, water filters out. And lastly, we collect the water sample from this one. You can see this water is much more clearer than the rainwater, than the even what we're drinking at home. So this is the level of the water treatment given by some of the industries. The best example, we can say that not all industries are giving the polluting the water and other things, but some are doing very good work also. Again, this is the vermi filter bed, even the entire kitchen waste from the mining area, from the what do you call the housing colonies or the canteen is collected to an end, and where the filter bed is here, and the vermi filter bed, it absorbs, these plants absorb heavy metals, and what you get out of this one is used for the plantation purpose also. This is a plantation used. Again, we are also developing some of the composting has been developed here. And autonomous systems have been installed on the hauling roads to minimize the impact. And so these are dumps which are protected. Many people are doing this one, but only these are active dump. But again, at the end of the day, these dumps have to be stabilized with stone pitching, or also you can say the covering with the local plant species. A nursery bed developed here, and 7.7 safety zone has been prepared here. And so that this is the areas where I can say that those plant diversity which I shown on the plateau, you same can get it here also, that so no plant diversity lost because of this particular safety zone also. So this is the plateau earlier water shown, and after rehabilitation you can see the only the elevation reduced, but you can see the stony wasteland have been converted into a very good green cover by the mine owner. These are some of the slope areas. Have you seen? Okay, so these are some of the things which I, because of the time given 45 minutes, I'm exceeding. So I think it is the over from my side, sir. So any question answers, I think discussion is open for the discussion. Thank you very much, sir. Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Kulkarni, for excellent and informative talk about mining and environment. I still have, as a geologist, I still have some basic problems in the sense the rules regarding implementation of these mining laws are highly subjective. In Eastern Ghats of Andhra Pradesh, the bauxite is not being mined because of environmental problem. The same bauxite, the adjacent Orissa state is extensively that I don't know, rules are different. And more importantly, I would like to share with you one important concept started by Mr. Krishnanunni. For his memory, we started this association. He started a DAUMA project, that is development of village economy through mineral assessment potential. So, as you were mentioning in your talk, the involvement of local people, not just employment of few people, but then it is there should be stakeholders in the mining part of it. I think governments should come out clearly on that aspect, so that they will also show some interest. A third point is the points which you raised. The measures for sustainable development, they definitely cost more for the miner. So you would like to avoid as much as possible. So I would like to react on these points, please.
Yeah. So as I said in the beginning itself, sir, particularly the number of the cluster mines, they are more in number. But because of two reasons, particularly as I said that because one is the financial aspect of it. So one is technically they are not sound enough. Secondly, financially not sound enough. So this is a problem that everywhere they are facing this one. If you can see this small, even the stone crusher, it has the impact of dust in at least 2 to 3 km down on the downwind side. The impacts are known, but still then neither the pollution control board, nobody able to do it. But in spite of that one, see, mining can be stopped, but even a stone crusher with a raw material building, no one is daring it to stop it also. So impacts are visible, but as you said rightly, that's why the strategic annual impact assessment is only possible if you do it at a top level and do some funding, some other way. Then what is possible? Individual level, mine owner cannot do it any cost this one, sir. This will continue. Whatever talk in terms of the sustainable development is only on paper, but in reality, we are much more aware than what we speak, what we show on the paper.
Yeah.
Dr. Kulkarni,
Yes,
Naresh Pant here.
yes, sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can. Yes, sir.
just, see, fundamentally, the idea of safe and sustainable development is very attractive.
Yeah.
But the kind of bureaucratic setup which we have, see, the making it sustainable actually requires working towards making sustainable, which is essentially which can come dominantly from sort of scientific solutions to one cannot stop or abandon mining.
Yeah.
One can make it less harmful, and that
Yeah.
making it less harmful comes from essentially scientific research or developing methods.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, what is happening is that neither in the academic institutions there is actually an emphasis towards developing those new ways by which it can be made sustainable, nor in the government institutions like IBM, etc., which are supposed to be doing it. It is coming. So from where? To me, this looks to be the biggest problem or biggest at the moment roadblock, which is about, we can talk about everything, but it is not going to lead to any solution till the time we are not working on that. So it is not only funding, lack of funding, but it is also a kind of academic neglect and
Yeah.
research neglect, which is into these things.
I do certainly agree with you, sir, because see, not only proper coordination from one department to other department and department to academic institute, but within the state government and the central government, within the mining industry, there is a conflict of interest.
Yes.
See, I'll give you one example, sir. But there's the one lease approved in 1968 to Hindalco, right? And lease executed that time. And because someone could not do the operation, it was executed for 30 years. So 68 to 30 years, 98, 30 years old. Then again it was renewed for 20 years. But in spite of last 25, 30 years, we're still struggling to get environmental clearance. Now environmental clearance is given. Now for as per the MMDR Act, 50-year life is over now. This is a very typical case. You can see that whether the legal issues or the bureaucracy, whatever that, but due to so much, even after 50 years also, we could not execute the lease to some other reason. So as you rightly said, there's no proper coordination within the department from department. So that is need, unless all the people come together, work for the real cause of sustainable development, not possible. This is true not only mining, in other field also. I do agree with you, sir. Not only the finding,
Yes.
but technically.
Yeah. The point is that this that when we are looking at one aspect is lack of funding also. So the lack of funding when the new NRF and other things are being developing is the environmental industry, especially mining environmental industry, is gearing itself up for utilizing a pie of the money or to looking at this funding to sustain what can be there for developing ways in which mining can be made sustainable. This could be something.
Yeah. And I think as you rightly said that, sir, because of delay in getting the time so much right now, I think if you see the data, what has shown that the number of big mines have become less and less in time, and a lot of people are preferring to work outside India rather than working in India for this one.
Exactly.
So I think they feel that working in particular bauxite in Guinea and they're called particularly South African Africa is much more faster than getting approval and doing work in India now.
Exactly.
And many industries they're preferring to importing the bauxite fertilizer that with the huge resources are there in India, but still they are either blocked in forests and big industries like Hindalco, like they prefer to there are a lot of their own leases, but still then they prefer to import the bauxite from outside rather than mining itself. So tendency of people is working outside India being more than work in India now. That's why I think going to the adversely affect the mining industry.
Thank you.
Any other question?
Kulkarni has his hand up actually. Yeah.
Who is that?
Can I
Who is that? Some Mr. Rajagopalan, you wanted to ask some question?
just am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes. You able to hear me?
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Kulkarni?
Yes. Yes, sir. I can hear. Yes, sir.
So I would like to substantiate your observations and your presentation, excellent presentation regarding the feasibility and all those things. But something I would like to add, compared to 1980, like,
Sir, I think your sound is not.
Your voice is breaking.
Yeah.
you hear me now?
Voice is breaking, Mr. Rajagopalan.
Yeah.
Hear me now?
Yes, sir. I can. Yes, sir.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah. To some extent, I can hear you, sir. Yeah.
Yes.
Could you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Actually, compared to the early 80s or mid, even early 2000 and even up to 2015 till I was in service with the mining and everything in Atomic Minerals Directorate. Now, of late, what I am seeing is that in the international, especially Australian and other places where I'm a little bit associated, what they're doing is that as per the Forbes also, what they say, total operating expenses for the top mining companies worldwide, which has reached around 15 million billion US dollars, and if with the efficient operational methods using AI, artificial intelligence techniques are now being immensely used. And they say that this is called the smart mining. They dubbed it artificial intelligence using the smart mining, which is advancing. McKinsey estimated that about by 2035, the age of smart mining achieved through autonomous mining, using data analysis and digital technologies like artificial intelligence will save between $290 billion and $390 billion annually for the mineral and raw materials, he was telling. And one of the best examples they are given about the coal mining, which is one of the very crucial one. And they say that the international now global mining group is operational. Global mining group is operational, which has developed a artificial intelligence working group. I think that, and this is for the with the objectives of optimization and facilities for the mining technology. So they have developed the mining brain mining, what they call the softwares and tools and other things. I think now we have to go with modern technologies which are available to us now.
Yes, sir.
See, good olden days were all held up with, especially IBM, AMD. We are AMD. How much we faced these persons, especially CEOs and other things, is extremely unimaginable. But what I am feeling is that let us go with the artificial intelligence group, working group. They are saying that it is a global mining group, which is for the benefit and guidance of the international level for mining and using artificial intelligence technology. And we are also not now less in artificial intelligence. We can really immensely use these technologies. Why I'm telling you that if you go with respect to the good olden methods and methodologies and everything, the cost, operational cost, land mining, reclamations, then what you call the, especially the reclamations and other things are taking much more cost and a lot many problems later on. You may be aware also, because we are facing immensely of problems. So with these problems, I see that let us go with respect to the international guideline. Global mining group is which has developed with a beautiful group having artificial using brain mining. That is a tool which they are using. And I think that we can also go with those technologies and then narrow down our what you call the different optimizations, what we are using. Optimization is required now because dynamism is there in our political system and another thing. That is one side which we cannot remove it in now or never. Okay, you have to be with that. It is inevitable. Okay, but other aspects optimization we can do by which we can have the very good payback period, pay by period, and all those things can be very well calculated. And even the reclamation technology has developed a lot. Not like good olden days, from this side A and put it on the B and then start improving the fertility and all those things. Now the technology has changed a lot. I think we have to integrate ourselves. Mining, actually, in fact, geoscience as such is a become should as rightly said, it becomes the earth science now. So when we go with the earth science model, we have to integrate ourselves and use all the techniques which are available internationally and put it on use on our brain also.
and convince our, we call the so-called, in quote, I can say, the great politicians. It is a very toughest job in India, especially.
Yeah.
As you said that Hindalco for 25 years also the clear mining list. Actually, in fact, we face on the forest clearance and all those things. But I think that is not a, these problems will be continuing. It is not going to be solved. One thing, everybody has to face the problem. It will never change. But we can go with respect to the cost benefit analysis and all those things by using these tools and things, and we can project much better.
Yeah.
What I feel
Yeah.
that let's use all those technologies for our different what you call 25 plus years of mineral belts, not for increased bottom.
Yeah.
So wonderful
Yeah.
present.
Sir,
Very good.
yeah, I do agree. So just one second, I want to add. So just I want to add to you. I do agree that we have to go for artificial technology. Artificial intelligence should be an integral part of mining operations. But in Indian case, particularly, what I find is that, but the techno-economic viability of the particular technique. For example, if you go to Australia or some other part of the ocean, you can see the reserves of it. They are in hundreds of million tons. So there's one big that you can have at least your life of 50 years or even probably more than 10 million ton, 50 million ton can produce. You can life is so much resource very huge. But in our cases, there are so many cases are there. There's hardly 4 million ton, 5 million ton, and the number of leases are so big. In that case, it becomes very difficult to implement. If you see the number of mines, but I'm sure that in Australia you don't have thousands of mines. So
Very true. Very true.
And that becomes technically not viable in our case, provided you have big, much 80% reserves are blocked in the forest reserves now, forest area. In that case, using such technology becomes a limiting factor, particularly in Indian case. Otherwise, it's environmentally very sound techniques are there.
Demographically and environmentally, these aspects may be there, but I tell you the efficient mining techniques and all those things, optimization, and the fencing also. For these things, I think we can go with respect to the modern technology.
Yes,
What I feel.
exactly. Sure, sir.
Because at the time practically we are working, I tell you, all of you are exploration geologists and we are all there. We are working for last 40, 50 years. See, always we depend on the subsurface geology, subsurface borrowed data, and sometimes we miss certain things, and the tenor what we fix it, cut off what we fix today is not viable for tomorrow or whatever. All these things, economics plays the role. But mineralogy doesn't go with the economics. See, the value is a number. So I feel that it is better to put the potential base what non-potential becomes the potential well tomorrow. It is a question of time and
exactly.
So economics wise, we go with the mineral economics. Then there is nothing called cutoff. Nothing is nothing called
and
cutoff. Is the time should cut time. I feel, isn't it? Strategy and time makes the values. So I think that as a EPM or as a mineral industry, central law should be there. We should be having all these facilities to corroborate and pull the data, so everything has to be done and optimize this. This is what I feel. Because the technologies are AI techniques and everything are available. This is what I want.
I do agree with you, sir. Thank you so much.
I think, sir, Mr. Rajagopalan, I think you can probably continue discussion with him on our website. I'm going to upload the entire talk, video talk, video recording in the next couple of days. And there is a interaction possible with the author, the speaker. So you can continue to have discussion with him. And for the sake of time, I request in fact, I propose a hearty vote of thanks to Dr. Kulkarni for his excellent and very informative talk. This was one of the best lectures we had so far. And then this will be, as I told, uploaded into our website shortly. And then I will send the website ID to you, Dr. Kulkarni,
yes, sir.
by WhatsApp today itself. So you can see that. And then let us, again, all of us, I am a little disappointed with the poor participation in this lecture.
Yeah.
then it's okay. But it is very informative lecture. It was very useful for people who attended this lecture. Thank you very much again.
Thank you.
One, 1 minute, can I talk?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
See, first of all, I should thank Dr. A R Kulkarni, because Stephen Leacock used to say that the college does not need the students, but the students need the college. He has studied so much. A R Kulkarni has studied so much, and he has saved so much of time and all this to have the knowledge on this mining subject. You may remember that first lecture was also by Radha Ramani on mining. That time I told about the sustainable development. Sustainable development means you have to, everybody knows that one. We should not be avaricious. And now what is the problem is, it is only mental problems. It is not environmental. Everybody knows about environmental. So if the politicians are mentally all right, then these problems will be mostly solved. Once again, I thank Dr. A R Kulkarni and Dr. Parsardi to having given me an opportunity to talk. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank
Sir, yes, sir. Just 1 minute. Can I speak, sir, with your permission? Parsad?
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Please.
So, yeah. First of all, sir, I'm really thankful to Parsadi sir for giving opportunity. In fact, I had a golden opportunity to work under his guidance for our Madagascar project. I think it was such a nice opportunity for me to work as such a learned person like you. I still remember your advice during the field work, our gold prospecting. I think it's amazing, sir. And it was today is a golden opportunity for me. You have given me, sir, to share some of my thoughts. It is not the number that counts, but the participation level of discussion was really a good learning process for me, and not the number. I'm thankful to all the honorable members, sir, for giving opportunity. In fact, it is an opportunity to get associated with you as I'm required in whatever capacity possible. It will be my pleasure to get associated with you, sir. Thank you very much, sir, again for giving opportunity. Sir. Thank you very much.
Dr. Kulkarni, I think I still remember your invitation to me to Kolhapur to visit
Yes, sir. Not only
Lakshmi
that,
temple.
I have an invitation to all our members of KMCT, sir. Be my guest. We got a very good guest house I got. And my responsibility to take you to Mahalakshmi, like Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh. Kolhapur is very famous for Mahalakshmi temple. I think it will be nice to
We will definitely make it, sir. I will
sir.
definitely make it at the earliest possibility.
Yes, sir.
I will let
Yes,
you
sir.
know.
Yes, sir. My pleasure. My invitation to all the members, sir, now to visit Kolhapur, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir, madam. You can, Kadi, madam. I am there. Most welcome, Guru sir.
Oh, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, can I leave the now, sir?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you once again, sir. Thank you once again.
Right, Gita?
Dhanyavad.
Wish you all a very happy Diwali, sir. And madam.
Sudha, I thank you personally because of you only I could remember Dr. Kulkarni and then I have this lecture today. That earlier
But I wanted
CRT
so much, more students to join today. Unfortunately, only 2 of them joined.
Yeah, it happens. I think it happens. This is my experience all through. That's true.
Okay.
Anyway, good.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Okay then. Bye.